Hi friends, this is Manikanta Prasanna Kumar. Welcome to my channel Maths with Money. You can follow me on my Facebook page Maths with Money. Regarding myself, I cleared RRB NTPC and also SSC CGL, and I have selected as Customs Inspector in CGL 2017. Hi friends, in this video we will revise all the formulas related to mensuration 3D. Mensuration 3D comprises of prisms, next cubes, cuboids, cubes, cylinders, pyramids, cones, spheres and hemispheres and some other points. All these are, if you combine all these topics, it is mensuration 3D. If you remember, all the formulas which I tell you in this video are sufficient to get the full marks in 3D mensuration. Okay, so let us start the video. So first is prism. Prism means we have so many types of prisms: triangular prism, rectangular, hexagonal, pentagonal. Okay, based on the base of that prism, we can name that prism. Okay, if the base is hexagon or base or top, both are same. Okay, for suppose it is hexagonal prism. So first we have to revise the basic formulas. What are those? Lateral surface area of the prism is base perimeter into height of the prism. Whereas the total surface area is lateral surface area plus 2 times of base area. And what about volume? It is equal to base area into height of the prism. That's it. So these are the three basic formulas in prism. And one more thing important is relation between number of faces, number of edges and corners. In any prism, number of faces are always equal to n plus 2, where n is the number of sides of the base polygon, and number of edges are 3n, and number of corners are 2n. So these three are important. From this we can write, in any prism, f plus c minus e is always equal to 2. F plus c minus e is always equal to 2. This formula is also important. Without finding the f, c, e values, if you have a question like this, f plus c minus e is equal to, then definitely you can put it as 2. Okay. And while coming the important things in prisms, we have different things. First, cutting of prism. When a prism is cut like this horizontally, okay, if a prism is cut horizontally, then total surface area or lateral surface area of all parts is equal to lateral surface area of the given prism. Okay, and volume of all parts is equal to volume of the given prism. Okay, but coming to the total surface area of all the parts, it is important. Total surface area of all the parts is equal to total surface area of the prism, total surface area of the given prism plus 2 into n into base area. 2 into n into base area. What is n? Here n is not number of parts. Here n is a number of cuts. If number of parts is given, then number of cuts is minus 1. If suppose prism is cut into 10 equal parts, then number of cuts are 9. Okay, we already discussed in the mensuration 3D paid course. Okay, so this is very important. When you cut the prism, hexagonal prism, in vertical manner, okay, vertical along passing through any two axes or along midpoints of the sides. Okay, this is important. Along any two opposite vertices, then the distance between this is 2a and this is a height h. So if you cut the prism, hexagonal prism, into two equal parts like this, then what is the extra total surface area you are getting? 2a into h. If you cut the prism like this, okay, passing through the midpoints of the sides, opposite sides, parallel sides, then what is this distance? Root 3a, and it is height, because your cross section is a rectangular cross section. Root 3a into h, 2 into root 3a into h. Here 2a into h into 2 rectangles will be there. So 4ah is, in this case, it is the extra total surface area will get, and here in this case 2 root 3a into h is the extra total surface area you will get. Okay, and cylinder, cone, prism in a prism are not that much important for our exam. That's why I'm skipping those points. Okay. Next important thing is, next concept is cube or cuboid. We'll discuss with cuboids. So I hope all of you know, suppose it is a cuboid of dimensions LBH. Okay, cuboid is nothing but a prism with base is rectangle. Okay, rectangular square. So what is the lateral surface area? L2 into L plus B into H, which is same as area of the four walls. What is total surface area? 2 times of LB plus BH plus LH. And what is volume? LBH. So where L is length and B is breadth and H is height of the cuboid. If surface area of the cuboids, adjacent surfaces area of the cuboids are given, for suppose it is A1 and this surface area A2 and it is A3, then what is the formula for volume? Square root of A1 into A2 into A3. Product of all the three adjacent surface areas under root. Okay. Next, if you have a hollow cuboid like this, if you have a hollow cuboid of thickness T, then what is the volume of this cuboid? L minus 2T, H minus 2T and B minus 2T. This is the volume of the cuboid, and it is a closed hollow box. Closed hollow box. If it is open hollow box, if it is open, one side open, then what is the volume of this cuboid or volume of material? Volume of the material that is required to make that cuboid, it is equal to L minus 2T, B minus 2T into H minus T only. L, B and H. Sorry, L and it is B and it is H. Okay. Next, in the cuboids, number of cuts. If a cuboid cut P times parallel to X axis, Q times parallel to Y and R times parallel to Z axis, the number of cuts is equal to P plus Q plus R. What about number of cuboids formed? Number of cuboids are equal to P plus 1 into Q plus 1 into R plus 1. This is about number of cuts and number of cuboids formed when the cuts are given. Okay. Previously I told you one thing. This is volume of, it is not the volume of material required, sorry. It is the volume of the space occupied inside it. Volume of the space occupied it. If you want to find out the volume of the material that is required to make the cube, if it is closed, then suppose it is volume of the space, volume of the space. Then volume of the material is LBH minus volume of the space. LBH, that is the volume of outer cuboid minus volume of the space, will gives you volume of the material required to make that cuboid. Okay. Next, maximum volume of the box, that is a cuboid. Suppose there is a rectangular sheet of length L and breadth B, and if I cut 4 squares at 4 corners of this rectangular sheet and each square sheet width is X. Okay, then what is the volume of the box? And these are eliminated, these are cut. Okay, so if I fold these, if I folded this rectangle remaining sheet to form an open box, then this open box has the dimensions L minus 2x and B minus 2x and x. So what is the volume of this box? L minus 2x into B minus 2x into x. If you want to get the maximum volume, then x value is always equal to L plus B minus L square plus B square minus LB under root by 6. For these values I already proved in my paid course. If anybody has doubt, please watch those videos. And if it is a rectangular sheet, if it is a square sheet is cut along the four corners of x, and the side of the rectangular sheet is A. Then to get the maximum volume of open box, the x value should be equal to A by 6. This is very, very important in SSC CGL Tier 2 exam. Is it clear? Next, cube. Cube means if all the dimensions of the cuboid are equal, then we call it as cube. If edge length of cube is A, then what is the lateral surface area? It is equal to 4A square, and total surface area is 6A square, and volume is A cube. Okay, next, in the cube we have so many formulas are important. So first I'll tell you cuttings. In the cuttings, pyramid formed from cube and prism formed from a cube. Suppose it is a cube of dimensions A. These are the midpoints of adjacent faces. If I cut along these midpoints, then I'll get a pyramid. Okay, and the lateral surface area of the pyramid is equal to, formed pyramid equal to 3 by 8A square, and total surface area is 3 plus root 3 by 8A square, and volume of the pyramid is A cube by 48. Okay, these are the formulas to remember for this pyramid. And prism formed from a cube, for suppose it is a cube of dimensions A, and these are the midpoints, these are the base midpoints. If I cut along this like this, okay, then I'll get a pyramid, sorry, not pyramid, it is a prism. Then what about the lateral surface area of this prism? It is equal to root 2 plus 1 by root 2 A square, and total surface area is 5 by 4 plus 1 by root 2 A square, and volume is A cube by 8. Volume is how much? A cube by 8. In the pyramid, A cube by 48, and it is A cube by 8. Okay. And coming to the inscribing figures in cube, those are also very, very important. Cube in a sphere. I'll tell you only important inscribing figures only. We have to revise those things only. Okay. Whenever a cube is inscribed in a sphere, it is like a square in circle. Okay, diameter of the sphere is equal to the diagonal of the cube, that is 2r equal to root 3a. So what is the radius of the sphere? It is equal to root 3 by 2 times of the a. Okay, so I forget to tell you one thing in cube, that is a diagonal of the cube equal to root 3a, and in cuboid also, diagonal of the cuboid is square root of L square plus B square plus H square. So these are also very basic formulas. Okay. Yes. When a cube is inscribed in a sphere, then the radius of the sphere is root 3 by 2 into a. But a cube is inscribed in a hemisphere. In a hemisphere, if cube is inscribed, then radius of the hemisphere equal to root over root 3 by 2 into a. Root over 3 by 2 into a. In a sphere, then r equal to root 3 by 2 into a. If it is inscribed in a hemisphere, radius equal to root over 3 by 2 into a. Okay. Next, when a cube in a cylinder, if a cube, a maximum volume is inscribed in a cylinder, okay, then diameter of the base is equal to the diagonal of the square, base square. So 2r equal to root 2a, and height of the cylinder and edge length of the cube both are same. From these dimensions we can decide volume of the cube by volume of the cylinder is 7 by 11 is equal to how much? 7 by 11. That means cube represents 7 parts and cylinder represent 11 parts. Is it clear? Next, cube in a cone. It is a cone and this is a cube. This is a cube of edge length A, and the dimensions of the cone are R, H and L. Then to get the maximum volume of the cube, the edge length of the cube should be equal to root 2r into h by root 2r plus h. This is the direct formula to find out the maximum edge length of the cube inscribed in a cone. Okay, these are about inscribing figures related to cube. Okay. Next, cylinders. Cylinders. For suppose it is a cylinder of radius r, okay, and a height h. Then first formula, lateral surface area equal to 2 pi r h, and total surface area is 2 pi r into r plus h, and volume is pi r square into h. All these about hollow, it is about solid cylinder because we have solid and hollow cylinders. Okay, so these formulas for solid. Now tell me, what is the diagonal of the cylinder? Diagonal of the cylinder equal to square root of h square plus 4r square. It is the diagonal of the cylinder. Now next, if you talk about a hollow cylinder means it has some thickness. Suppose it is outer cylinder and it is inner cylinder. The radius of inner cylinder is R1 and the radius of outer cylinder is R2. Thickness is T. So thickness T is equal to R2 minus R1. Now, if an hollow cylinder, for an hollow cylinder, what is the curved surface area? We can't tell you lateral, so you have to write down curved surface area, which is equal to 2 pi h into R1 plus R2. And coming to total surface area, it is equal to 2 pi h r1 plus r2, that is curved surface area, plus 2 pi r2 square minus r1 square. What about volume? It is equal to pi h into r2 square minus r1 square. Okay. Same cutting of the cylinder. Cuttings it's like prism only. What is the difference between a prism and cylinder? If the base of the prism is circle, then it is called a cylinder. That's it. Okay. When you talk about cutting of a cylinder, horizontal cutting. Okay. Horizontal cutting. N cuts, not I am talking about n parts. Then lateral surface area of all the parts is equal to lateral surface area of the given prism. Volume of all the parts is equal to volume of the prism. Volume of the given cylinder, sorry. But what here important is the total surface area of all parts is equal to total surface area of the given cylinder plus 2n pi r square, where r is the radius of the cylinder. This is the extra surface area you are getting when the cylinder is cut horizontally. Is it clear? Next, while coming to vertical cross section, this is a cylinder. Okay. Now the cylinder is cut along the diameter. Okay. Now you have two parts, one part and two parts. What is the extra total surface area you are getting? What is the cross section you will get? It is a rectangle. What about the length of the rectangle? It is diameter and a height of the breadth. So what is the extra total surface you are getting? Two rectangles, 2 into 2r into h, that is 4rh is the extra total surface area you are getting, which is equal to the total surface area of these two parts equal to total surface area of the given cylinder plus 4rh. Okay, this is about vertical cross section in cylinders. Next, in cylinders we have two important things, that is a 2D to 3D transformation. 2D to 3D transformation. In the 2D to 3D we have two models. What are those? Rotation and folding. Okay. When a rectangular sheet of dimensions L and B is rotated along the breadth, what happened? Along the length, what happened? So if I rotated along breadth is rotated, then I'll get a cylinder, it is L and it is B, and along this it is rotated. So what about the radius of this cylinder? Equal to L. What about height of the cylinder? It is B. So whenever a rectangle sheet is rotated along its breadth, then height is equal to breadth and length is equal to radius, or radius equal to length. If it is rotated along along length, now it is length. Okay, now I'll have a cylinder like this. It is breadth and it is L. Now tell me, this length becomes the height and breadth becomes the radius of the cylinder formed. Okay. Next, when you talk about folding, so that means when a rectangular sheet of dimensions L by B is folded along length, then you will get a cylinder whose height is equal to breadth and whose base perimeter is equal to length, that means 2 pi r. So now tell me, if the length of the rectangular sheet becomes the base perimeter, then what is the radius? L by 2 pi. So these are the dimensions of the cylinder when along length is folded. Okay. Next, when you fold along the breadth, it is length and it is breadth, and you are folding along the breadth. Now you will get a cylinder like this, whose height is length, and what about the radius? It is equal to B by 2 pi. Along breadth, so B by 2 pi. So these two are very, very important in case of 2D to 3D transformation. Next, length of the rope which surrounds the cylinder. It is another important type in cylinders. We have two models in this case. What are those? One type is n equal rounds. Okay, if a rope of length L surrounds the cylinder having radius r and a height h with n complete turns like this, then length of the rope equal to np whole square plus h square, where n is the number of turns and p is the base perimeter. What is p? It is equal to 2 pi r. And what is h? Height of the cylinder. And another model is cylinder is completely invisible by making rounds with that rope like this. If a rope of thickness T covers the cylinder of radius r and a height h such that the cylinder is completely invisible like this, then length of the rope is equal to 2 pi RH, that is the curved surface area of the cylinder by thickness. These are the two models important in case of finding of the length of the rope. Next, while coming to inscribing figures in cylinders, okay, let's see. Inscribing figures. First one, a cylinder inscribed in a cube. I will tell you only which are important for the exam. A cylinder of maximum volume is inscribed in a cube. Then height of the cylinder is edge length of the cube, and the radius of the cylinder is half of the edge length h by a by 2, and volume of the cylinder to volume of the cube is 11 by 14. Please important, when a cube is inscribed in a cylinder, then their ratios are 7:11. But a cylinder is inscribed in a cube, then their ratios are 11:14. 11:14. Is it clear? Next. Second inscribing is cylinder in a cylinder. One cylinder is inscribed in the other cylinder, but such that their axes are perpendicular. Okay, if the bigger cylinder radius are smaller and small h, then radius of the cylinder which is inscribed in the outer cylinder is equal to, sorry, 1 minute. The inner cylinder dimensions are capital R and capital H. Okay, and outer cylinder dimensions are small r and small h. Then outer cylinder radius equal to half into h square plus 4r square. That means half of the diagonal of the inner cylinder, half of the diagonal of the inner cylinder. This is also important. Next, third one, cylinder inscribed in a cone. Cylinder inscribed in a cone. Okay, if the cone dimensions are smaller and small h, then a cylinder of maximum curved surface area is inscribed in a cone. To get the maximum curved surface area, the dimensions of the cylinder should be equal to, suppose h, suppose capital R and it is h. Capital R equal to R by 2 and capital H is equal to H by 2. If the dimensions of the cylinder are half of the radius of the cone and half of the height of the cone, then you will get maximum curved surface area. So these are the conditions to get the maximum curved surface area. To get the maximum volume of the cylinder, what are the dimensions of the cylinder? Capital R is 2R by 3 and capital H is H by 3, and the volume of the cylinder to volume of the cone is 4 by 9. Volume of the cylinder to volume of the cone is 4 by 9. So these are two conditions very important to get the maximum curved surface area and maximum volume. Is it clear? Next, fourth one, cylinder inscribed in a sphere. It is a sphere of radius r. A cylinder is inscribed in a sphere of maximum volume whose dimensions are, 1 minute, I can write down the radius of the sphere as smaller and the dimensions of the cylinder are capital R and capital H. To get the maximum volume of the cylinder dimensions should be R equal to root over 2 by 3 times of R, that is radius of sphere, and the height of the cylinder should be 2 by root 3 times of R. Then only we'll get the maximum volume, and the maximum volume of the cylinder to volume of the sphere is equal to 1:√3. These ratios are very important for SSC CGL type 2 level exams. Okay, a cylinder of maximum volume inscribed in the sphere. Is it clear? Friends, చిన్న బ్రేక్ అనుకోండి, ఇది ఏం లేదు, మీకు సర్కిల్స్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది 20 వీడియోస్ లో చెప్పడం జరిగింది అండ్ మొత్తం 22 hours and the cost is 200 rupees. So this is the paid course. సో మనం బేసిక్ గా జామెట్రీ అండ్ 2D మెన్సురేషన్ ఫ్రమ్ పాయింట్ దట్ ఈస్ లైన్స్ అండ్ యాంగిల్స్ నుంచి పాలిగాన్స్ వరకు చాలా క్లియర్ గా చెప్పడం జరిగింది. ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే సర్కిల్స్ కూడా కవర్ చేశాను, బట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ పెయిడ్ కోర్స్. అండ్ మనం దాంట్లో ఎన్ని ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ కవర్ చేసాము అనేది చూసుకుంటే, సో చూడండి, మనకి ప్రతి కాన్సెప్ట్ కూడాను ప్రాక్టీస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, అలానే 2011-18 టు 18 సిజిఎల్ మెయిన్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా డిస్కస్ చేయడం జరిగింది టాపిక్ వైస్. ఓకే, సో 29 క్వశ్చన్స్, 40, 43, 56, టోటల్ 168 క్వశ్చన్స్ దాకా చెప్పాం. అండ్ టోటల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ అవర్స్ ఇస్ 22 అవర్స్. సో మీకు ఇక్కడ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ చెప్పే ముందు ప్రతి టాపిక్ కూడా ఫుల్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది క్రిస్టల్ క్లియర్ గా. ఓకేనా, సో మీకు ఈ మొత్తం వీడియో కోర్సెస్ తో కావాలి అంటే 200 రూపీస్. అలా కాదు, ఓన్లీ ఈ క్వశ్చన్స్ కి సంబంధించిన పీడిఎఫ్ కావాలి అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఓన్లీ 40 రూపీస్. ఓకేనా, టోటల్ 166 ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ విత్ కీ మాత్రమే ఉంటుంది. నో సొల్యూషన్స్ ఆర్ ప్రొవైడెడ్ విత్ దిస్. కీ విల్ బి దేర్. ద ప్రాక్టీస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అండ్ ఆల్సో సిజిఎల్ మెయిన్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆన్ దీస్ పర్టిక్యులర్ టాపిక్స్. ఓకే, ఈ కోర్స్ మీరు తీసుకోవాలి అనుకునే ముందు మీకు డెమో వీడియోస్ అనేవి 3 ఉంటాయి. ఓకేనా, వన్ ఈజ్ ఆన్ పర్పెండిక్యులర్ కార్డ్స్ అండ్ అనదర్ వన్ ఈజ్ ఆన్ సీకెంట్స్ అండ్ అనదర్ వన్ ఈజ్ ఆన్ పెయిర్ ఆఫ్ సర్కిల్స్. ఓకేనా, ఈ 3 డెమో వీడియోస్ చూడండి, చూసాకే తీసుకోండి. ప్రతి టాపిక్ కూడా లైక్ దిస్ చూడండి. మీకు సర్కిల్స్ బేసిక్స్ తీసుకున్నారనుకోండి, ప్రతి దాని మీద కూడా మీకు 4 వీడియోస్ ఉంటాయి. పార్ట్ 1, పార్ట్ 2, పార్ట్ 3, పార్ట్ 4. ఏంటేంటి అంటే ప్రాపర్టీస్ అంటే కాన్సెప్ట్ చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది, అండ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అనేది 1 or 2 వీడియోస్ లో ఉంటుంది. అండ్ 4th వన్ అండ్ లాస్ట్ వన్ ఈజ్ మెయిన్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్, ప్రీవియస్ మెయిన్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ డిస్కస్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. అలానే మనం ప్రతి టాపిక్ కూడా చెప్తాం, కార్డ్స్ కానీ, అదర్వైజ్ ఇన్ టాంజెంట్స్ అండ్ సీకెంట్స్ లో కానీ. ఓకే, అండ్ పెయిర్ ఆఫ్ సర్కిల్స్, మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ టాపిక్ ఇన్ సర్కిల్స్ ఈజ్ పెయిర్ ఆఫ్ సర్కిల్స్. అందువల్ల మనం పెయిర్ ఆఫ్ సర్కిల్స్ కే మనం కాన్సెప్ట్ చెప్పడానికి 3 వీడియోస్ లో నేను చెప్పాను. ఓకే, అండ్ ఫర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ చూసుకునేసరికి 2 వీడియోస్ ఫర్ ప్రాక్టీస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అండ్ 2 వీడియోస్ ఫర్ ప్రీవియస్ క్వశ్చన్స్. ఇలా మనం మొత్తం కూడా డిస్కస్ చేయడం జరిగింది. సో ఎవరైతే ఈ సర్కిల్స్ కోర్స్ తీసుకోవాలనుకుంటున్నారో వాళ్ళు ఎలా పర్చేజ్ చేయాలి అంటే గూగుల్ పే కానీ, అదర్వైజ్ ఫోన్ పే కానీ. ఓకే, నెంబర్ అనేది 9490882754. ఈ నెంబర్ కి మీరు ఆ అమౌంట్ పర్చేజ్ చేస్తే 200 రూపీస్ ఫర్ కోర్స్ అండ్ 40 రూపీస్ ఫర్ పీడిఎఫ్. ఆ పీడిఎఫ్ అనేది ఆటోమేటిక్ గా కోర్స్ తీసుకున్న వాళ్ళకి ఇస్తాం. ఓకేనా, మీరు ఓన్లీ పీడిఎఫ్ కావాలి అంటే 40 రూపీస్ పే చేయండి. అదర్వైజ్ లేదు మా కోర్స్ కావాలంటే కోర్స్లోని ఆల్రెడీ పీడిఎఫ్ అనేది ఇంక్లూడ్ అవుతుంది. ఓకేనా, అండ్ ఈ కోర్స్ పర్చేజ్ చేసే వాళ్ళు అంటే వీడియో కోర్స్ పర్చేజ్ చేసే వాళ్ళు మాత్రం ఖచ్చితంగా మీ మెయిల్ ఐడి అనేది ఖచ్చితంగా ఈ నెంబర్కి వాట్సాప్ చేయాలి. సో ఆ మెయిల్ ఐడిని యాడ్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. దెన్ ఓన్లీ యూ కెన్ వాచ్ దోస్ వీడియోస్. ఓకేనా, సో నౌ విల్ గో టు ది మెయిన్ వీడియో. Next is pyramids. So pyramids are also different types based on the base polygon. Okay, if the base is a triangle, then we call the pyramid as a triangular pyramid. If the base is a rectangle, the pyramid is called as a rectangular pyramid. And if the base is a hexagon, then it is called as hexagonal pyramid. Okay, from the side of each base we have to draw the triangles, and all the triangles intersect at some point. That point is called as apex point. Okay, so now coming to the formulas of pyramid. First, lateral surface area equal to half into base perimeter into slant height. Please remember it is slant height, not a height. Okay, I hope all of you know what about slant height, what is height, and what is edge, slant edge. Okay, if I take suppose a square pyramid, observe clearly. Okay, once again I will tell you the relation or what is the differences between slant height and slant edge. Height means it is the perpendicular distance from the apex point to the centroid of the base polygon. Okay, this is height. When you talk about slant edge means it is the distance between apex point to the any vertex. It is called as a slant edge. When we talk about slant height, it is the height of the slant portion. This is a slant height. That means it is the perpendicular drawn from the apex point to the any side of the base polygon. This is slant height, L. So when you talk about lateral surface area of the prism pyramid of into base perimeter into slant height, this is you have to substitute. If height and slant edge are given, from those values you have to calculate slant height, but don't substitute those values here. I will tell you the relation between H, L and E. Okay, don't worry. Next, coming to the formulas, lateral surface area. Next, total surface area equal to lateral surface area plus only one base area of the polygon. Next, coming to volume, it is equal to 1/3 base area into height. So these are the basic formulas in pyramids. Like prisms, here also we have Euler's formula, but before that we have to know individually about the number of faces in any polygon, in any pyramid whose base sides, whose number of sides of the base polygon is n, then the number of faces of that pyramid is n plus 1. Number of edges equal to 2n and number of corners equal to n plus 1. Here also, like prisms, the f plus c minus e is always equal to 2. This formula is called as Euler's formula. It applies both prisms and pyramids. Their individual values will change, but this value won't change for pyramid or prism. Is it clear? Next, relation between slant height and edge and slant edge. Okay, so slant height, suppose if I take a square pyramid, for your clarification, if I take a square pyramid, it is slant height L and this is height H, and this red line is called as a slant edge. Okay, now so base polygon has circumradius capital R and in radius small r. Then h square and this is the circumradius. Okay, this is the circumradius of the base polygon, because centroid to the center of the base polygon to the vertex capital R, that is circumradius. H square plus R square equal to E square, and this is in radius small r. H square plus small r square equal to L square. These two relations are very, very important when you have H and E and you have to find out slant height. These are the formulas. Okay, from this you can easily find out r square minus r square equal to E square minus L square. This is also important. From this I can write r square plus L square equal to E square plus small r square, where capital R is circumradius and small r is in radius of the base polygon. Is it clear? Next, we have tetrahedron. That is very, very important. Tetrahedron means it is a particular type of pyramid in which all the faces are equilateral triangles. All the faces, base is equilateral triangle and other three lateral faces are also equilateral triangle, then we call it as a tetrahedron. If each edge of the tetrahedron is A, then we have to remember some formulas. One is a lateral surface area, 3 equilateral triangles, so 3 into root 3 by 4 A square, and total surface area is 4 into root 3 by 4, that is root 3 A square, and volume of the tetrahedron is root 2 by 12 into A cube, and the height of the tetrahedron is root over 2 by 3 into A, and slant height is equal to root 3 by 2 into A, and slant edge is equal to A. All these 6 formulas are very, very important in case of tetrahedron. Okay, this is a regular pyramid whose whose faces are all of its whose faces are equilateral triangles. Okay, when you talk about irregular pyramid is nothing but if the base polygon is irregular, then the pyramid is called as irregular pyramid. So in the irregular pyramid, we have to know one thing, that is only rectangular pyramid is important for our exam. Suppose the base polygon is a rectangle whose dimensions are LB, then this pyramid is called as a rectangular pyramid. Okay, now here we have not only one slant height, we have two slant heights. What are those two slant heights? Slant height drawn on along or drawn on breadth. Okay, slant height drawn on breadth, and another one is a slant height drawn on length. Okay, so and the height of the pyramid, if a height of the pyramid, this is the end point, if height of the pyramid is h, then slant height on length is equal to h square plus b by 2 whole square under root, and slant height on length on breadth is equal to h square plus l by 2 whole square, h square plus l by 2 whole square. Now after finding these values, lateral surface area of this irregular pyramid, rectangular pyramid, is small l into small ll, that is a slant height on length, plus b into lb. Okay, similarly total surface area equal to lateral surface area plus base area, that is lb. What about volume? Volume of this pyramid is equal to 1/3 lbh, 1/3 lbh. These are very important things you have to remember in case of pyramids. Okay, next, cutting of pyramids. In the cuttings, horizontal cross cuttings and vertical cuttings. If I take a pyramid, for suppose it is hexagonal or square, whatever it may be, I'll take a hexagonal pyramid. Okay, hexagonal pyramid of edge of length side is A, and all the points like this. Okay, now this is cut parallel to base. Okay, now lateral surface area of the small pyramid to the lateral surface area of the bigger pyramid. I am talking about lateral surface area of the small pyramid to the lateral surface area of the given bigger pyramid, and volume of the smaller to volume of the bigger. One thing you have to remember, upper portion is pyramid, but the bottom portion is called as frustum of the pyramid. I'll tell you the formulas of frustum of the pyramid in the next slide. Okay, but here I am talking about lateral surface area of the smaller and bigger pyramids. Smaller and bigger. Here, if the smaller pyramid height is h and bigger pyramid height is capital H, then their ratios of lateral surface area is h square by capital H square. If edge lengths are small e and capital E, okay, then E square by E square, same ratio. If the slant heights are small l and capital L is the slant height of the bigger pyramid, then L square by capital L square. While coming to volumes, they are in the ratio of cubes of these heights are adjacent, slant heights are slant edges, that is h cube is to h cube, E cube is to E cube, and L cube is to L cube. Okay, it is about smaller to bigger pyramid, not smaller to frustum. Okay, while coming to frustum, I'll take an example of a hexagonal frustum. Okay, whenever if you take any frustum, definitely top polygon and base polygon are same, but different lengths. If top is hexagon, then bottom is also hexagon. Okay, if bottom is square, then top is also square. Okay, if okay, next, if a height of the frustum is h, if height of the frustum is h, and here it is base and here it is top, okay. If RB and RT, so it is RB and it is RT. RB and RT are the in radius of the base and top polygons, and capital RT and capital RB are the circumradius of top and base polygons. Okay, as per the formulas, L square equal to H square, that is a slant height. This is the slant height of the frustum. Sorry, this is not slant height. This is slant edge. Blue line is called slant edge, and I will draw the green line. Green line is called as slant height. Okay, L square equal to H square plus RB minus RT. RB minus RT whole square. Whereas edge, slant edge square equal to H square plus RB minus RT whole square. In general, for a pyramid, it is R square, small r square. Here capital R square, but here two polygons, top polygon and base polygon. That's why the formulas are changed to like this. And lateral surface area of the frustum is equal to n into, here suppose the polygon has n number of sides, n into area of each face, each lateral face. What is the area of each lateral face? All lateral faces are trapeziums. What is the area of trapezium? Of into h is nothing but slant height of the frustum into sum of the parallel sides. What are those parallel sides? For suppose small a is the side of the base polygon and small b is the, sorry, small a is the side of upper polygon and small b is the side of the base polygon, then off into L into a plus b. This is the lateral surface area. While coming to total surface area means lateral surface area plus top area plus bottom area. Both have equal areas. Okay, top area is different, bottom area is, base area is different. What about volume? It is important. Volume equal to 1/3 H into base area plus top area plus square root of base area into top area. This is the volume of the frustum. These formulas are very, very important in frustums. They will give you directly the values and you have to substitute them in these formulas if you remember them perfectly. Okay, that's it. And inscribing figures in pyramids is not that much important for our exam. That's why I don't want to tell them. Is it clear? Next, cones. Cone is nothing but it is a pyramid whose base is circle. Okay, if the base polygon of the pyramid is circle, then it is called as cone. Okay, for suppose it is a cone of radius r and a height h and it is slant height L. Then first, curved surface area of the cone equal to pi r L. Total surface area equal to pi r into r plus L. What is volume? It is equal to 1/3 pi r square h. Here please remember this angle at this apex is called as vertical angle. And off of this vertical angle, this angle is equal to semi-vertical angle. If the semi-vertical angle is alpha, then tan alpha equal to r by h. Tan alpha equal to opposite side by adjacent side, that is r by h. So whenever radius and height is given and you have to find out vertical or semi-vertical angle, this is the formula. And since RHL forms a right angle triangle, that's why I can tell you r square plus h square is always equal to L square. RHL forms a triplet. Is it clear? Next. Like cylinders, here also we have 2D to 3D transformation in cones. Okay, Before 2D to 3D transformation, I will tell you cutting of cone. Okay, cutting. In cutting, same horizontal and vertical cross section. Suppose if it is a cone, of radius capital R and height capital H and slant height L, it is cut into two parts and the cut is parallel to base, that is a horizontal cross section. Then definitely here you have a circular cross section. Okay. Now here two parts are there, one part and the bottom part is called as the frustum of the cone. Frustum of cone. So upper portion is called a smaller cone and given cone is bigger cone. When the upper portion or the upper cone dimensions are smaller, small h and small l, then the curved surface area of the upper cone to curved surface area of the given cone, or curved surface area of the smaller cone to curved surface area of the bigger cone, are in the ratio of squares of the corresponding radii, or squares of the corresponding slant heights, or squares of the corresponding heights. While talk about volumes, volume of the smaller cone to volume of the bigger cone are in the ratio of cubes of corresponding radii, or slant heights cubes, or cubes of the heights. This is about a horizontal cross section. When you cut a cone horizontally, then the bottom part is called as frustum. So if there is a frustum like this, okay, whose top radius is smaller and bottom radius is capital R, and the height of the frustum is a small h and slant height of the frustum is small l, okay, then small l slant height is equal to h square plus R2 minus R1 whole square under root. That is first point, slant height of the frustum. Second point, curved surface area of the frustum is equal to pi into R1 plus R2 into L. And total surface area equal to curved surface area plus pi R, here not R2 R1, if you take it is R1 and I take this as R2, that is better, okay. Curved surface area plus pi R1 square upper and pi R2 square bottom area. And next, volume of the frustum equal to 1/3 or pi by 3 into h plus R1 square plus R2 square plus R1 R2. These four formulas are important, and how can we remember these formulas? Like you have to apply the formulas of the pyramid in which the base is circle. That's it. I already told the formulas of frustum of the pyramid now. In the frustum of the pyramid formulas, you have to apply the thing, that is the base and top of the frustum are circles. Is it clear? Next, 2D to 3D, vertical cross section. There is a cone like this. Now this cone is cut like this along the diameter vertically. Now what is the cross section? You will get a triangular cross section, and the triangle is like this, triangular cross section, and the base of the triangle is a diameter 2r and the height of this triangle is h, and these equal sides are slant heights L. Now what is the area of this triangle? Off into base into height, off into 2r into h, rh. So here when you cut like this, you will get two parts, and each two parts has two triangles like that. Yes. So what is the extra area you will get? RH into 2. 2RH is the extra total surface area, or total surface area of these two parts equal to total surface area of these two parts equal to total surface area of given cone plus 2 into R into H. That's it. This is about vertical cross section. Next, 2D to 3D transformation. In 2D to 3D transformation, like cylinder, we have two things, rotation and folding. In case of rotation, a right angle triangle is rotated along any perpendicular, then we'll get a cone. For suppose A, B and C are the sides of this triangle, right angle triangle. And if in the rotation you have two cases, one is along any perpendicular side, whether it is A or B, okay. If you rotate along any perpendicular side, then this is equal to like this, okay. It is A and it is B and it is C. Now tell me, what about the dimensions of this cone? Radius is B and height is A and slant height is C. That means when you rotate a right angle triangle along any perpendicular side, then slant height becomes the hypotenuse and radius becomes the perpendicular side on which you are rotating, So radius becomes that perpendicular side and height becomes other perpendicular side. Okay. When you rotate along the hypotenuse, suppose it is A, B and C. So you are rotating like this. Now you will get a double cone. Okay. It is A and it is B and this total length is C. So if it is A, then it is also A and it is also B. Now tell me, here you have to remember some important formulas. The height of this double cone is C. Height of the double cone is hypotenuse of the right angle triangle. And second one is radius. Radius of the double cone is equal to product of the perpendicular sides by hypotenuse. Slant height of the upper cone is A and slant height of the lower cone is B. Okay, clear? And total surface area of the double cone and volume of the double cone is based on these dimensions. You can easily calculate. Okay, if you want to find out the total surface area of the double cone, it is equal to pi r L1 plus pi r L2, that is equal to pi r into L1 plus L2. L1 and L2 are upper slant heights and lower slant heights. Okay, pi into AB by C into A plus B. This is the total surface area. If you talk about volume of this double cone, it is equal to 1/3 pi A square B square by C. Direct formula I am telling you. It is the volume of the double cone when a right angle triangle is rotated along its hypotenuse. Okay. And second one is folding. Rotating is okay. Next, folding. Which one has to fold to get a cone? You have to fold a sector. If this is a sector of radius small r and with central angle theta and length of the arc is L, if it is folded end to end, this end to this end, then you will get a cone. Okay, and this cone radius is capital R and a height is capital H and L is slant height. So slant height of this cone is always equal to the radius of this sector. Okay, and radius of this cone equal to theta r into radius of the sector into theta by 360. And what about H? It is equal to L square minus R square under root. So in the exam, you may get a question like this. When a sector of radius something is given and theta is given and L is given, and you have to convert into cone, then what about the dimensions of this cone? So these are the values you have to remember. Okay, this is about 2D to 3D transformation. Next, inscribing figures. In the inscribing figures of cones, we have 4 models. One is a cone inscribed in a cube. A cone of maximum volume is inscribed in a cube. So radius of cone is, if the edge length of the cube is A, then height of the cone is edge length and the radius of the cone is A by 2. These are the dimensions. And while coming to the maximum volume of the cone 2, volume of the cube is equal to 11 by 42. These ratios are very important. That means if cube represents 42 parts, then cone represents just 11 parts. Okay. Next, cone in a cylinder. Suppose it is a cylinder, a cone of maximum volume is inscribed, then radius of cone and radius of cylinder are same, and the height of the cone and the height of the cylinder should be same. So volume of the cone to volume of the cylinder are in the ratio of 1:3. Another important thing. Next, cone inscribed in a sphere. Suppose it is a sphere of radius small r, and now a cone of dimensions, otherwise if a sphere of radius is capital R, okay. If a cone of dimension small r and small h and small l is not required, small r and small h is inscribed in the sphere of radius r, then to get the maximum volume of the cone, the radius of the cone should be 2√2 by 3 into radius of the sphere, and the height of the cone should be 4 by 3 into radius of the sphere. At these dimensions only you will get the maximum volume of the cone, and the maximum volume of the cone to volume of the sphere is equal to 8 by 27. If sphere represents 27 parts, then cone represents only 8 parts. Okay. Next, cone inscribed in a hemisphere. Suppose it is a hemisphere of radius capital R. Suppose a cone is of maximum volume is inscribed, then height of the cone should be radius of the hemisphere, and radius of the cone should be equal to radius of the hemisphere. Height of the cone, radius of the cone, both are equal to radius of the hemisphere. And volume of the cone, maximum volume of the cone to the volume of hemisphere is equal to 1 by 2. 1 by 2. Is it clear? Next, another important thing, that is, 1 minute. Cone inscribed in a cylinder, but their axes are perpendicular. The axis of the cylinder is this, and there is a cone inscribed in such a way that the axis of the cone and axis of the cylinder are perpendicular. Okay. So now if the radius of the cylinder, radius of the cone is smaller and height of the cone is small h and slant height is L. Now what about the radius of the cylinder? For suppose capital R is the radius of cylinder, R equal to L square by 2h. L square by 2h, very important. But here the condition is axis of cone and cylinder are perpendicular. And next one is cone inscribed in a cone. There is a cone, bigger cone of dimensions capital R, capital H. Okay. And now a cone is inscribed in this cone in the reverse manner like this. And dimensions of this cone is smaller and small h. Then the relation between all these four variables is r by r plus h by capital H is equal to 1. Small r and small h are the dimensions of the inner cone, and capital R and capital H are the dimensions of the outer cone. This is the relation between all these four variables. This is also very important thing you have to remember in cone. Is it clear? Friends, again a small break. సో సర్కిల్స్ లానే మనం మెన్సురేషన్ 3D పెయిడ్ కోర్స్ కూడా చెప్పడం జరిగింది. సో టోటల్ 3D మెన్సురేషన్ ఎవ్రీ టాపిక్స్ చూసారు ఇక్కడ మనకి ప్రిజమ్స్ నుంచి రిమూవల్ ఆఫ్ ఎర్త్, ఈ ప్రతి టాపిక్ వైజ్ ప్రాక్టీస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అంటే కాన్సెప్ట్ చెప్తూ నెక్స్ట్ ప్రాక్టీస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, అలానే CGL 2011 టు మెయిన్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అలాంటివి డిస్కస్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. సో ఓవరాల్ గా ఇది మనకి 40 వీడియోస్ లో చెప్పడం జరిగింది, సారీ 44 వీడియోస్ అండ్ 44 hours. ఓకే, అండ్ టోటల్ కాస్ట్ ఈస్ 500 రూపీస్. సో మొత్తం ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఎన్ని డిస్కస్ చేసామంటే కాన్సెప్ట్ కాకుండా 323 ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అనేవి డిస్కస్ చేయడం జరిగింది. సో ఇప్పుడు ఈ 323 ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ పీడిఎఫ్ మాత్రమే కావాలనుకుంటే దిస్ కాస్ట్ అబౌట్ 50 రూపీస్. అంటే మీకు ఓన్లీ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆ పీడిఎఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ విత్ కీ, ఓన్లీ కీ మాత్రమే ప్రొవైడ్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది, సొల్యూషన్స్ కాదు. ఓకేనా, ఇవన్నీ కూడా టాపిక్ వైజ్ చెప్తున్నాం. అలానే మీకు టాపిక్ వైజ్ సెగ్రిగేట్ చేసి ఇవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. అలా కాదు మీరు కోర్స్ తీసుకోవాలంటే 500 రూపీస్. అండ్ చూడండి, ఈ కోర్స్ తీసుకునే ముందు మీకు 11 డెమో వీడియోస్ ఉన్నాయి. పిరమిడ్ ఫార్మ్డ్ బై కటింగ్ ఆఫ్ క్యూబ్ అండ్ సిలిండర్స్ లో 2D to 3D ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ and largest sphere inscribed in a tetrahedron, cone formed by folding of a sector, and largest sphere inscribed in a cone inscribed in a cylinder, largest cone inscribed in a sphere, and cutting of sphere, and last three are cuboid and cube in a hemisphere, and pyramid or cone drilled from a solid figure, and volume of the water that can just immerse the ball. These are the 11 demo videos I am providing you for free. ఈ వీడియోస్ అన్నీ కూడా మనకి మెయిన్ కోర్సులో కూడా చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. ఈ వీడియోస్ చూసి మీకు 3D మెన్సురేషన్ అవసరమా, లేకపోతే ఈ లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ మీకు తెలియవు అనుకున్నా కూడా ఖచ్చితంగా కోర్స్ తీసుకోవచ్చు. ఓకేనా, ఈ కోర్సులోని ప్రతి టాపిక్ కి అంటే సబ్ టాపిక్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో వాటిలో 4 వీడియోస్ అనేవి ఉంటాయి. ఒకటి ఫుల్ కాన్సెప్ట్, దానికి సంబంధించిన కాన్సెప్ట్. ఇన్స్క్రైబింగ్ ఫిగర్స్, దిస్ ఈస్ ద మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ నౌ డేస్ 3D మెన్సురేషన్ లో. ప్రతి టాపిక్ కి చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. అండ్ నెక్స్ట్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అంటే ప్రాక్టీస్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అండ్ ప్రీవియస్ మెయిన్స్ క్వశ్చన్స్, ఇలా 4 వీడియోస్ గా ప్రతిదీ చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. ఫర్ సపోజ్ దట్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఈజ్ మోర్, ఎక్కువ టైం తీసుకుంటుంది అంటే కాన్సెప్ట్ ని మళ్ళీ 2 వీడియోస్ లో చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. ఇలా ప్రిజమ్స్ కి, అంతేకాకుండా క్యూబాయిడ్స్ కి, క్యూబ్స్ కి, నెక్స్ట్ సిలిండర్స్ అనేది కొంచెం లెందీ టాపిక్ కాబట్టి ఇట్ టుక్ 7 వీడియోస్. అండ్ పిరమిడ్స్ అండ్ ఆల్సో కోన్స్ కూడా కొంచెం లెందీ టాపిక్. And next spheres and hemispheres and also extra topics. అవి కాకుండా మనకి ఇలా ఎక్స్ట్రా టాపిక్స్ ఉంటాయి. రిమూవల్ ఆఫ్ సాలిడ్ ఫిగర్ అండ్ రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లో అండ్ ఇంక్రీజ్ ఇన్ వాటర్ లెవెల్ అండ్ ఫిల్లింగ్ ఆఫ్ ల్యాండ్ ఆర్ సాయిల్ టేకెన్ ఫ్రమ్ ది సమ్వేర్. ఓకే, సో ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనకి ఎక్స్ట్రా టాపిక్స్ కింద ఉంటాయి. టోటల్ 44 పార్ట్స్ 44 వీడియోస్ లో మనం చెప్పడం జరిగింది. సో కాబట్టి ఎవరైతే ఈ 3D మెన్సురేషన్ డౌట్ ఉందో వాళ్ళకి బేసిక్స్ నుంచి ఫుల్ లెంత్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అనేది చెప్పడం జరుగుతుంది. కాబట్టి ఈ కోర్స్ ఖచ్చితంగా యూజ్ అవుతుంది. అండ్ ద టోటల్ కాస్ట్ ఈస్ జస్ట్ 500 రూపీస్. పీడిఎఫ్ మాత్రమే కావాలంటే 50 రూపీస్. ఈ 500 రూపీస్ కోర్స్ తీసుకున్న వాళ్ళకి 50 రూపీస్ పీడిఎఫ్ అనేది ఖచ్చితంగా ఇవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. ఓకే, ఎలా మీరు పర్చేజ్ చేయాలంటే లైక్ సర్కిల్స్ కోర్స్ లానే ఫోన్ పే కానీ గూగుల్ పే కానీ ఏ నెంబర్కి చేయాలమ్మా, సేమ్ నెంబర్ 9490882754 కింద స్క్రోల్ అవుతున్న నెంబర్ కూడా ఇదే. ఈ నెంబర్కి మీరు అమౌంట్ పే చేసి ఆ స్క్రీన్ షాట్ ని ఈ నెంబర్కి వాట్సాప్ చేయండి. అలానే మీ మెయిల్ ఐడి అనేది ఖచ్చితంగా ఇవ్వాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఓకేనా, సో మీకు మెన్సురేషన్ 3D అనేది చాలా చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్, ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ ప్రిపేరింగ్ ఫర్ డిఓ మెయిన్స్ ఆర్ SSC CGL. ఓకే, నౌ విల్ గో టు ద మెయిన్ వీడియో. Next one is spheres. Suppose it is a sphere of radius r. Okay, then first one is curved surface area or total surface area. Both are same in case of sphere. Both are equal to 4 pi r square. And second, volume of the sphere equal to 4/3 pi r cube. It is about solid sphere. When you talk about a hollow sphere means we have different radii. R1 is the radius of inner sphere and R2 is the radius of outer sphere. Then what is the volume of this hollow sphere or inner curved surface area? First talk about curved surface area. Inner curved surface area means this. Inner curved surface area is 4 pi R1 square and outer curved surface area is 4 pi R2 square. What about volume? 4/3 pi R2 cube minus R1 cube. This is the volume of the hollow sphere. Okay. Next, cross sections or cuttings. First cutting is horizontal cutting. So if it is a sphere of radius smaller, now this is cut parallel to the diameter of the sphere. Okay, and this cut is at a distance of h units from the center. Now what about this cross section? It is a circular cross section. Yes. Okay, if a sphere of radius small r is cut at a height of h units from the center, so that the cumulative areas of these two pieces, it is one piece and it is one piece, cumulative areas of these two pieces is k% more than that of the given sphere. Because of this cutting, you will get extra total surface area. How much? K% more than the given sphere. Then what about the height of this value? H is equal to 1 minus 2x under root into r, where x is equal to k% means k by 100. For suppose that 25% is more means, then what is the value of x? 25 by 100 means 1 by 4. K% is given, then x is nothing but the fraction value of that percentage. Okay, is it clear? From that you can easily find the value of h directly. This is the direct formula. It is about horizontal cross section. Next, vertical cutting. In the vertical cutting, suppose it is a sphere of radius smaller and it is cut into n equal parts like this. If you remember an orange we have like this, yes, or a basketball, not a basketball, or some balls are like this, okay, some playing balls, okay. If you cut like this and sphere is cut into n parts like this vertical, then total surface area of all the parts is equal to 4 pi r square. That is the total surface area of the given sphere plus n pi r square, plus n into pi r square. N is the number of equal parts, not number of cuts, number of equal parts. Okay, is it clear? Next, last thing in cuttings. When a sphere is cut parallel to x axis one cut, parallel to y axis one cut, and parallel to z axis another cut, then you will get 8 equal parts. Then total surface area of all the 8 parts is equal to 10 pi r square directly, and total surface area of each part is equal to 10 by 8 pi r square. That means 5 by 4 pi r square. Please remember these formulas. If you remember these formulas directly, within seconds you can solve those models. Otherwise it will take much time. Okay, these are about cross sections or cuttings in spheres. Next, coming to inscribing figures in spheres. Sphere inscribed in a cube. Sphere inscribed in a cube. If a sphere is inscribed in a cube, then diameter of the sphere is equal to the edge length of the cube, 2r equal to a. Then what is the radius of the sphere? A by 2. When a cube is inscribed in a sphere, then the radius of the sphere is root 3 by 2 into a. But when a sphere is inscribed in a cube, then radius is a by 2. And volume of the sphere to volume of the cube, maximum volume of the sphere to cube is 11 by 21. Sphere is 11 parts and cube is 21 parts. Okay, that is first thing. And second one, sphere inscribed in a cylinder. There is a cylinder. Okay, a sphere of maximum volume is inscribed in the cylinder. Then to get the maximum volume, the diameter of the sphere should be equal to the height of the cylinder, and the radius of the sphere and radius of the cylinder are equal. Okay, so small r and capital R are equal, and both are equal to half of the height of the cylinder. And coming to the volumes, volume of the maximum volume of the sphere to volume of the cylinder is 2 by 3. Cylinder is 3 parts, then sphere is only 2 parts. Okay, next, third one, a sphere in a cone. There is a cone of dimensions r, h and l. A sphere of maximum volume is inscribed. Then what about the radius of this sphere? It is equal to r into h by L plus R. R into H by L plus R. Very, very important. Please remember in the clockwise direction, R into H by L plus R. One is product and another one is addition. Okay. Next, fourth. A sphere inscribed in a regular tetrahedron. There is a tetrahedron. Okay. In this, a sphere of maximum volume is inscribed. And the tetrahedron edge length, tetrahedron means all the edges are equal. If each edge is small a, then the radius of the sphere capital R equal to a by 2 root 6. For suppose if height of the tetrahedron is given, height of the tetrahedron is h, then radius of the sphere is h by 4. If tetrahedron height is given, h by 4 is the radius. If tetrahedron edge length is given, a by 2 root 6 is the maximum radius of the sphere, which is inscribed in that tetrahedron. Okay. Next, fifth one. If a tetrahedron is inscribed in a sphere, there is a sphere and in which a tetrahedron is inscribed. Tetrahedron edge length is a and radius of the sphere is some capital R. Okay. Then radius of the radius of the sphere is root 6 a by 4. Root 6 a by 4. Radius of the sphere is root 6 a by 4 when the edge length of the tetrahedron is given. If height of the tetrahedron is given, then radius of the sphere is 3h by 4. 3h by 4, that is h by 4. When a tetrahedron is outside the sphere, then the radius of the sphere is h by 4. When the tetrahedron is inside the sphere, then the radius of the sphere is 3h by 4. These are the 5 important things you have to learn in case of spheres, inscribing figures. Okay. And the next one is hemispheres. Hemisphere. Hemisphere is nothing but half of the sphere. If the radius of the sphere is smaller, then first curved surface area is 2 pi r square, and second one total surface area is 3 pi r square, and third one volume of the hemisphere is half of the sphere na, so 2/3 pi r cube. These are basic formulas, and these formulas are applicable for solid hemisphere. When we talk about the hollow hemisphere and inner radius is r1 and outer radius is r2. Okay. Then first one, curved surface area of hollow hemisphere is 2 pi r2 square plus r1 square. Total surface area, please remember directly the total surface area of hemisphere, the hollow hemisphere, 3 pi outer radius square plus pi r1 square. And third, volume equal to 2/3 pi outer cube minus inner cube radius, r2 cube minus r1 cube. That's it. Okay. And the important thing in hemisphere is hemisphere inscribed in a cone. When you talk about sphere inscribed in a cone, RH by L plus R. Yes, similarly, if a hemisphere of radius capital R is inscribed and the dimensions of the cone are small r, small h and L, then capital R equal to how much? RH by L. If it is sphere, then RH by L plus R. If it is hemisphere, then the radius of hemisphere is RH by L. That's it. Is it clear? So these are the formulas important for your exam in hemispheres and spheres. The last thing is some other points are you have to remember in case of 3D mensuration. The first thing is removal of a solid figure. Removal of solid figure from a given solid figure. Suppose there is a solid figure cuboid. From this cuboid, small cones are removed. Otherwise, small cylinders are removed from this surface, or small hemispheres are removed from this surface. Okay. Given solid figure is a bigger solid figure, and from that given solid figure you have to take, or you have to remove, or you have to drill some smaller solid figures. Okay, those solid figures may be cones, or maybe cylinders, or prisms, or pyramids, or hemispheres, whatnot. Okay, let's see. From the given solid figure, okay, if a prism or cylinder, prism or cuboid or cube or cylinder is drilled out or is removed, then first thing, if it is drilled out, the remaining solid is there, then what is the total surface area of the remaining figure? It is equal to the total surface area of the given solid. It may be cuboid or cube or prism, whatever it may be, okay, or it may be cone, whatever, okay. Total surface area of the given, that is a red figure, plus curved surface area of the drilled figure, curved surface area or lateral surface area of the drilled figure or removed figure, drilled figure. For suppose if cylinder is drilled, then what is the curved surface area of the cylinder? 2 pi RH. Here you have to some radius and height of the cylinder are given, and those are the dimensions of the cylinder. Okay, this is about total surface area. And while talk about volume of the remaining solid is equal to the volume of the given solid minus volume of the drilled solid. That is the volume of the remaining solid. Okay. Second thing, from a solid figure, if a cone or pyramid is drilled, it may be cone or it may be pyramid, whatever it may be. Okay, if a cone or pyramid is drilled out, then total surface area of the remaining solid is equal to total surface area of the given solid plus lateral surface area of the drilled solid minus base area of the drilled solid. Lateral surface area minus base area of the drilled solid should be added to the total surface area of the given solid. If a cone is drilled out, then what is the lateral surface area? Pi RL minus pi R square is the extra total surface area we will get. While talking about volume of the remaining solid, it is equal to volume of the given solid minus volume of the drilled solid. Same as the first case. Next, third one. Suppose from a given solid, if a hemisphere is drilled out, hemisphere of the radius R is drilled out, then total surface area of the remaining solid is equal to total surface area of the given solid plus pi R square. Extra how much? Pi R square is the extra surface area you will get. That's it. What about volume of the remaining solid? Volume of the given solid minus volume of the drilled solid. So these 3 points you have to remember in case of removal of solid figures. Next point is rate of flow. Rate of flow. Okay, rate of flow Q equal to area into velocity. For suppose there is a cuboidal tank and water is flown throughout a pipe of area of cross section is A and velocity of flow is V, and the rate of flow or quantity of water flown through the pipe is equal to area into velocity. But rate of flow Q means volume by time is equal to A into V. That's why finally volume of the water flown through this pipe is equal to area of the cross section, velocity into time. This is very, very important formula for your exam. It is about rate of flow. And next, increase in water level. Increase in water level or decrease in water level. Suppose there is a tank with some water. Okay. Now a solid figure, it may be spherical ball, or it may be a cuboidal box, or it may be a conical toy, whatever it may be. If any solid figure is dropped in this water, then they definitely water is raised to some height h. Water is definitely raised to some height. Then increase in this height or increase in the water level is equal to, or height that water level is raised is equal to the volume of the solid figure. Volume of the solid figure you are dropped by base area. Base area of the tank. If the tank is a cuboidal tank, base area is a rectangle. If the tank is cylindrical, then base area is circular. Okay, volume of the solid by base area. If not, for suppose there is a tank with full of water, is full of water. Now a solid figure is dropped, spherical ball or cylindrical toy, whatever it may be, is dropped, then definitely water is flown out of this cylinder, flown out from this cylinder. Okay, then definitely water level is decreased. Water level is decreased. Same decrease in the water level, decrease in the water level is also equal to volume of the solid by base area. That's it. And next and last point in the 3D mensuration, that is volume of the water that can just immerse the ball. Volume of the water that can just immerse the ball. Immerse a spherical ball. I am telling you particularly for a spherical ball. I already explained in the video also. So here you have two cases. When the tank is cylindrical or cuboidal, and when the tank is conical in shape. Okay, if the tank is cylindrical or cuboidal like this, so చూడండి, when the tank is cylindrical or cuboid. Okay, here some water is already there. Now what is the volume of the water? There is no water initially. Okay, now a spherical ball is dropped or placed in this tank. Now you have to find out the volume of the water that can immerse, that just immerse this ball. You have to find out this water volume. It is equal to volume, base area. If it is a cuboidal tank, then base area is rectangle. If it is cylindrical tank, then base area is circular. And if the radius of the spherical ball is capital R, then base area into 2R minus 4/3 pi r cube. 4/3 pi r cube, that is volume of that spherical ball. This is very easy in case of cylindrical or cuboidal tank. But when the tank is conical, in shape, okay, and if the conical tank dimensions are L, R and H. Now a spherical ball of radius R is dropped in this cone, and now you have to find out the volume of the water that can just immerse this ball. Okay, you have to find out this volume of the water. I told you direct formula, volume of this water, required water, is equal to volume of this sphere, this spherical ball, volume of this spherical ball into L plus R by 2H whole square into L plus R by R minus 1. Direct formula, please remember it, you may get a question like this. Okay, It is very, very important. I told you proof also in my channel. Please watch it if you have any doubt. But my opinion is, please remember the formula. Volume of the sphere into L plus R by 2H whole square into L plus R by R minus 1. This is the direct formula when the tank is conical in shape. Okay. All these formulas are related to mensuration 3D. And nothing more than this can be asked in your exam, tier 2 level of the SSC CGL. If you remember all these formulas perfectly, okay, then definitely you can solve any type of question. And last thing I want to tell you, whenever in the 3D mensuration, when one is melted and to form another solid figure, then please remember you have to equate the volumes. Okay. In case of mensuration 2D, okay, a solid, it is not a solid figure. For suppose a rectangular sheet, a rectangle is converted into a spherical, then it's not spherical, circular, then perimeter should be equal. In case of solid figures or 3D mensuration, you have to equate the volumes. Okay, please remember these things. With this, all the formulas are completed, and all the best for your exam. Thank you very much, friends. All the best for your exams. And for more PDFs, follow my blogs. One is iasmathematics.blogspot.com, and in this blogspot you will get PDFs for arithmetic. So arithmetic సంబంధించి ప్రతి టాపిక్ కి కూడా మీకు క్వశ్చన్స్ విత్ సొల్యూషన్స్, రిటర్న్ సొల్యూషన్స్ అనేవి ప్రొవైడ్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది, and all PDFs are free. And another blog is sscpuremaths.blogspot.com. So in this blog you will get pure maths related PDFs. ఓకే, సో కాబట్టి ఈ 2 బ్లాగ్స్ అనేవి ఒకసారి విజిట్ చేయండి, పీడిఎఫ్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకొని ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి, అండ్ దోస్ ఆర్ సఫిషియంట్ ఫర్ నార్మల్ లెవెల్ ఎగ్జామ్స్. అంటే లైక్ ఎస్ఎస్సి సిహెచ్ఎస్ఎల్ కానీ ఆర్ఆర్బి ఎన్టీపీసీ ఇలాంటి చిన్న లెవెల్ ఎగ్జామ్స్కి ఖచ్చితంగా సరిపోతాయి. బట్ ఎస్ఎస్సి సిజిఎల్ మెయిన్స్ ఆర్ డిఏఓ మెయిన్స్ ఆర్ ఎస్ఐ అండ్ కానిస్టేబుల్ మాత్రం యూ హ్యావ్ టు వాచ్ మై వీడియోస్ ఫుల్ అండ్ ఆల్సో పర్చేజ్ సమ్ కోర్సెస్ ఆల్సో. థ్యాంక్ యూ, హ్యావ్ ఎ గుడ్ డే, జై హింద్.